evening, everybody. My name is Warden, and I will be your host for tonight's entertainment. We've got a little bit of catching up to do. I've mainly been taking it easy and all that, but I have done a few things here and there. Namely, I have started terraforming an artificial magical forest biome down there. What I'm hoping is that by reintroducing natural plant life that would normally occur in this biome, that it will encourage the aura in this area to stabilize, and hopefully it will radiate outward in our quest to cure this world of taint. Admittedly, that's a little bit of a pipe dream. We have a lot of shit to go clean up. The end goal is maybe to create a sort of magical nexus so that the thing will clean up its damn self without my help. But I think it looks quite nice down here. I did my best to mimic all the natural plant life. The mushrooms, greatwood trees, oak trees, plants, flowers. I decided to not limit myself to the natural flowers that would be in this biome on account of the fact that it's very hard to get only those flowers. I've also planted some natural silverwood here. And hopefully, over time this will spread out, grow, and, well, fix things for me. I've also started creating a crater underneath this island, as having a full hill underneath it was looking a little odd. This is just the baseline sketch right now. I've drawn a rough circle in the shape of the island in stone, and I've been considering how I want to do this, if I want to do this in a way that makes it look like it came out in the vanilla way, or if I don't mind if it looks a little bit handmade. Ultimately, we will see. The Ars Magica island is still a mess, and the mob spawners over there are still ugly. We did finish that island over there, and there is something that is a little more exciting for me than just terraforming and building. I have managed to get the Arcane Terraformer working. I figured out how it works, and I have been turning this patch of land into a jungle biome. And this is primarily because I'm a big fan of nice warm biomes. You know, the magical forest is nice and temperate, and a jungle biome is very temperate and wet. But there is another reason that I have been creating this jungle over here. Namely that the jungle spawns ocelots. So, you know, I've started breeding up myself a normal amount of cats. You know, an average amount of cats. A completely normal amount of cats. You know, it gets a little lonely out here. What can I say? Other than that, I have finally put the finishing touches on the tower. I redid the redstone wiring back here in the machine room, so hopefully this will stop the peculiar redstone flickering that I was getting now and again. Down here I have added void metal. See? I have added void metal, and I have attached a beacon to this, which I will activate when the tower is ready to go. Up here, if we go up to the very tippity top of the tower, you will see I have finished creating the terrasteel. This is a vital part in making sure that the cannon works. And yeah, that is the tower. Pretty much completely done, except for the, it's not quite activated yet. So what's on the docket for today then, if that's all I've done in the meantime? Well, I was thinking, since today is supposed to be my day off, we would do some building. And instead of doing a time-lapse for you, I would like to take you guys on the journey with me to, through the building process of this building here. What this building is going to be is, I'm thinking my house, actually. As much as I enjoy sleeping above my Thaumic workshop, it's getting a little hard to sleep there for, no reason in particular, just, you know, I felt like a change of locations. So what I'm going to do is a little bit different than my usual form. Because of the inspiration that I'm taking for the space, I want to plan out this middle hallway here first. That way I can get a feeling for how much room the rest of the house is going to take up. So the inspiration that I'm going to be taking from is the game Control, one of my personal favorites, and especially for its incredible brutalist architecture, which is a great inspiration for any kind of brutalist or industrial looking build. This build is going to take inspiration from a couple of different locations in the game. I can't remember the names of each location off the top of my head, but if I'll just put the name of the location up on the screen, how about? So, I'm thinking I want multiple levels to the space, and ignore this. I was going to build a mob spawner in this island before I changed my mind to turn this into my new little house. You know, just change the locations and all that. I'll remove that and figure out a different place to put this. So what I want is for this place to have a little bit more vertical variation than the rest of my builds. I mean, pretty much everything that I've built so far has had flat flooring, very little, like, wider open space. What I want from this particular build is to sort of, use geometry to make this thing look as weird as possible, basically. While I do adore building organic shapes in Minecraft, there's something very pleasing about taking the ordinary squarishness of the world and molding it into, I guess, unfamiliar forms. So this will be one floor. What I'm going to do is, well, one, I'm going to push this whole thing over because I need room for a wall. I'm going to try and create sort of unnerving geometry. I'm going to take the familiar blockiness of Minecraft and I'm going to try and make it real silly and weird. And I don't mind going off the island for the outline of the space in this case, just because having it stick out at odd angles will add to the weirdness that I want to encapsulate with this. And again, I want to emphasize I'm not the best builder out there. There are many other quote-unquote better builders. However, I am doing my best to try and accomplish what I'm going for. If you want what you like, you're gonna have to build that yourself, sorry. It feels weird to sort of essentially plan a building backwards. Usually I build the walls first, and then I put floors in it as I see fit. So building backwards like this is a little bit interesting, but I enjoy the challenge, and it's important to vary up the techniques that you use in order to truly master what you're doing. If you don't try stuff you're uncomfortable with every once in a while, you're going to get stuck in a rut. However, I can't vary this up as much as I'd like to, purely because it is going to be a building I am using to live in, and if I make it too weird, it's going to be really hard to arrange furniture and living, like, beds and shit. So what I'm hoping is, this space will not just be interesting, but also usable. I'm going to quickly go down here and get rid of the mob grinder base that I have, just because, you know, I'm moving. It's fine. I'm moving. Okay, let us get a down section now that I've cleaned up the skelly farm. So I want a downy. Okay. I'll add more as time goes on, but I also do want to start sketching out the walls just because if I get too far ahead of myself, I will forget what I was doing. So we get this. So what I'm doing right now is sort of tracing the outside of the building, and we've reached our first impasse. I'm going to trace this section in pink because I think I want this to be a overhang, like so. So I'm going to trace this out in a different color of terracotta so that I know that this is a different segment of the building. Then back down here, we're going to resume tracing this out. There we go. Now we'll take our concrete and try and trace out what it is that we're doing. If this is an overhang, then this should probably come in like this, actually. Like this. And of course we want to use the limestone to add texture and color variation so that it's not just one big blob. Feels nice to be building again. It's been way too long since I've been able to just sit down and build ever since I got the idea for the tower. Maybe I can send another report that's just me building like this. You know, just something relaxing. Yeah, relaxing. Something that I think I'm going to struggle with this build is keeping a consistent design language, because throughout my other builds, the floors were always made out of great wood, and the walls were made out of concrete and limestone, and the ceilings were also made out of concrete and limestone. But here I'm struggling a little bit to think of how I want to handle the floors and the ceilings, because some of these are going to be like open plan. I'm going to be able to look down from this platform into the hallway, and I could do this, what I've done here for the sides of the platforms, but would that look too odd as a cutting off point? Because the sudden transition from here to here, I don't know, it feels odd to me. Like, I'm not sure if I like it, but on the other hand, I'm not sure what other option I have. The design language is something that I consistently struggle with in a lot of my builds, because it's just easy to do the same thing over and over and over again and just change it up slightly, and much harder to change things up in a way that's consistent with the other pieces that you have set out. Does that make sense? Like, I can make the same variation on the same block palette over and over and over again, but eventually the builds are going to start blending in together. And that is something that I'm struggling with my current base right now, is I feel like my buildings aren't different enough from each other. And I'm wondering if I should change up that design sentiment in this build, or if I should opt for pure consistency, and even if the builds are a little bit bland, at the very least they're consistent with each other. Because consistency does make things look good overall as a whole, even if individually the buildings are not very interested. Do you see my problem? I think having a flash of color down this way would be neat. Yeah, that's cool. I should mention, I'm not particularly worried about getting around in this build. I do have the thermostatic harness, I can always make arcane levitators, and worst comes to worst, I can use my blink focus to get up and down. I just want this build to be kind of weird, and maybe, a little bit unnerving even. Like, when you walk in, you're supposed to be sort of confused as to, like, which room is which. I'm very much a big fan of, I guess, algebraic geometry, though that doesn't really feel like what's going on here. So right here is where I've run into an issue. I've said so far with this build that each stripe of color is separated by 3 blocks of concrete, but I also want this to go down a little bit deeper, and I could have a stripe of color here and then continue it down another 3 blocks, but then I worry that like this would feel like it's too far down. But if I have it just a 3, it might feel like it's too shallow. And I've also said so far with this build that great wood platforms will always appear on the bottom half of these color stripes. Decisions. I have time to think though, as I do have to hit up the clay farm. I have run out of terracotta to build with. Funny, I put so much effort into making sure I have enough concrete that I forgot about the other building material that I'm in love with. So off we go to our clay construct spawner. So I have decided what I'm going to do with this segment here. The part that I'm struggling with is I'm going to turn it into a sort of a porch type thing. I think that'll be really neat, especially to add on to the alien geometry part of it. And it'll make that stick out a little bit less if there's a couple more islands around it with bits sticking out. Now, does this transition here look better? Or does this one from here to here? On one hand, this is a smoother transition, I guess. On the other, it feels weird to have the wood on top of the concrete like this. I think I'm gonna go with the design that is on the top of the wall. I'm just not liking the way the wood sits on top of the concrete. It makes the weight of the building feel inconsistent or something. There we go. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. I think maybe if I have sections of the floor that are made out of concrete, it'll make this feel a little bit less jarring to look at. It's just, I don't normally make the floor out of concrete. So there is a small segment in the Thomic lab that does have a piece made out of concrete. So I'll just portray that as a sort of extension of that design aspect. There we go. Yeah, that looks a little less odd. Maybe if I put a section over here with a concrete and limestone floor. Yeah, I think this will do. Then what I'll have over here is I will take chisel, and I'm going to take carpenter's block, and I'm going to take chisels, and I'm going to make a grass wall. So if I do this, alright. Then do this. Okay, I think I'm getting somewhere. Carpenter's block. I'm always nervous about using carpenter's blocks with transparent or partially transparent blocks because I worry it'll make the game crash. Because Minecraft just generally doesn't like it when you do weird shit with transparent blocks. I've had bad experiences with trying to do that. There. That adds a nice amount of depth and feeling to it, I think. I'm just gonna clear out this. I'm going to do this instead. Take this, turn this into the dark concrete. There we go. Gives a little bit of shadow. Alright, so we have this. I think I'm going to build another plant wall on this side just because this side looks really cool and now this side looks barren in comparison, even though the plant wall was primarily just to fill out the space that was underneath this section here. And then we take carpenter's block and we use that to do depth again, and that should be leaf falls for both sides. I like incorporating green and nature and stuff into my builds, especially my more industrialized ones, because it gives a sort of really neat contrast that I enjoy about stuff like this. Controlling contrast and, controlling consistency versus contrast is one of the most fun parts I find about building. It's incredibly challenging, obviously. I'm not the best builder, but I do really like engaging with it anyways. I like testing myself and pushing my limits and seeing what I can do when I'm pushing myself to do and be better. Now this, I think, is going to be interesting for our porch. Let's do this. Big window. And then we'll trim the top side with a lime green terracotta and seal this in. And then we'll have ourselves a nice little porch area. Should the roof be all terracotta? Or should it be concrete? I think it looks more consistent if it's all terracotta. There we go. It's starting to shape up now. It's starting to, we're starting to get into the silly territory with how weird this is looking. We'll put the arcane levitator here. That way we can get uppies and downies without needing the jetpack in case we have to put that away. I am eventually going to have to make staircases and bridges everywhere just so that I'm able to navigate in case something ever happens to my jetpack. I'm awfully reliant on it, unfortunately. Now, let's see how this is shaping out. Yeah, I think this is something really cool. Like, this will be like a little lounge area. This is the main hallway. Maybe this could be a library of sorts. Or maybe this could be my bedroom. I do like to be underground. This could be some type of loft or relaxing area. Maybe I'll turn this into concrete to make it more consistent with this part. Just so that it doesn't stand out too much. Yeah, this build is shaping up really well. I'm actually, I'm getting more pleased with this as time goes on. Like, originally I was just like, oh, this might not be a good idea. This might be way too messy and too high concept for my current skill level. And, like, that is a notable skill, by the way, is recognizing when, like, you're doing something that's too ambitious and backing away. Like, never giving up is cool and all, but also there's a lot of merit in acknowledging your own abilities and saying, I really like this concept, but I'm not skilled enough to execute it right now, and that gives you room to examine why it's above your skill level and to work on those parts instead of frustrating endlessly over things that you are unable to complete because of, I don't want to say skill issue, but skill issue. You know what I mean? I'm having an issue right now. Do I continue the color lines through the interior walls, or do I allow it to be semi-inconsistent? I think I'm gonna go for color lines on the interior walls and see how those look. I mean, worst comes to worst, I can always just change them back. What if I do this? And then over like this. What if I did what if I inverted this? Like this. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this, this fucked up little geometry we've got going on here. Let's keep up this train of thought, how about? And then we'll do this, because this is going to be a roof section. There we go. Yeah. I'm starting to really like this now. One more layer. Oops, that's limestone. There we go. I'm not a big fan of how this seam right here is really naked looking, but I'll figure out what to do about the seam. In the meantime, maybe if I do this. I think I'm gonna double layer the roof, just so that it's a little bit more consistent. I don't normally like to, because it's a little bit of a waste of space. But, this is ultimately like an aesthetic space. I sleep wherever I want to, honestly. If I want to sleep outside, I'll sleep outside. Now, I don't know if this should be a room or if this should be an empty space. I don't like wasting space, so I might turn it into a room. And, I'll do this, just in case I do decide to turn it into a room. You know, save a little bit of work for my future self. I'm honestly really enjoying being able to do this outside of a time-lapse and sort of vocalize my thought process. As much as I know that these reports aren't getting replies, it's nice to be able to just talk my thoughts out. You know, I'm having a lot of fun. Like, this is generally not something that I do a lot of. I don't generally like to show my process on screen. My process is slow, and my brain is full of circus peanuts. Let's do this, light it up, light it up. I'm out of terracotta, but I'm generally enjoying the shape of this room so far. Is this above ground? No, it is not. There. Now I can look down into this room, but there's still like a space right underneath here that's more private. I think this place is shaping up really nicely to be a little bit unsettling to be in. If I want this to be my bedroom, I should probably be able to have some type of door that I can lock, right? So I'll need a proper wall to affix the door to. I do kind of actually like the idea of the door just being like a drop-off into the room. I could put like a little landing spot right here for the arcane levitator. Admittedly, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's looking good. I don't know if I'll be utilizing this roof space or if it's just going to be roof space. I don't know if I'll be utilizing the brick blocks or if I want this to be much smoother. But I'm kind of liking where this is going. It's brutalism trending a little bit towards modern, I think. Because brutalism is about ultra-utilitarian. It's about the bare minimum to get that building functional and make it get going. Like, it is a building that is here for you, and if you do not need it, then it is, it's not for you. Kind of type thing. Like, that's what brutalism is all about. It's here for you wherever you are, and if you don't need it, then it's not for you, and if you do need it, then it's for you. At least that's the way I see it. Structures that will be standing no matter what use you put them to. By the way, if you want to see an excellent breakdown of the brutalist style and like the way geometry and building style can communicate so much and be so unnerving, there's a very, very, very good video essay that I often refer back to by Jacob Geller. I'll link to it in the description. This is one of my personal favorite video essays, and I kind of rewatch it like every now and then to refresh my memory on like just to remind myself why I like this architectural style so much. Now let's see about adding a bit of greenery to this build. This is based off a particular section of the game control. I can't remember the name of it. It'll be it went up on screen the first time I mentioned it, so I'm not going to do that again. If I do this, and then I do this, concrete. Yes, here we go. We have leaf. Go down like this. Leaf, go down. Yes, very good, leaf. It looks a little bit odd, that seam right there, but you get the gist of it. See, this is just making me yearn for chisels and bits right about now. You make do with what you got, but chisely bits. Then maybe I'll even have it come down like a little bit further. Like this. Yes, very good. Okay, this is shaping up really, really nicely. It's a little bit jank, but I think that's okay. The rendering is definitely getting a bit silly with it. But yes, there we go, little planters. I do wish the Z fighting wasn't so bad here. But you make do with what you got. Okay. So let's review what we've built so far. We've gotten a good chunk of the exterior done. We have some bits and pieces missing, and we need to add windows to certain segments. We have a roof section here. We have a bunch of the different floors here. We have a bit of interior decoration going on here with the planters. And there is definitely some room planning going on right here. All in all, I would consider this building venture very successful. I had a lot of fun, actually. It was really nice to be able to sit down and just talk about my building process and take a break from building that. I guess I should work on my message to the crew, huh? That can wait, that can wait, that can wait. Alright, so I did a little bit of work off camera to sort of smooth out the shape of the build. I wasn't liking how blocky it was over here, so I pushed back this wall to bring a little bit more depth to this. It does mean that this is not nearly as open concept as I'd like, but I think overall it was a good change for the overall shape. So unfortunately I am all out of time today. So let me find a good spot to sit. Let's go over here. So today we built ourselves a brand new house, finally taking a break from working on the tower and all its related steps and pieces of progress and all the painful things I had to do to get this running. Whoa, whoa, zombie? Where'd you come from? Whoa, 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 mobs! Whoa! Yo, what? Eh? Huh? What the fuck? That was new. Okay. What was I talking about again? Okay. That was weird. I have no idea what that was about. This whole thing is supposed to be spawn-proof, so, whoa, are you okay, baby? Why did you move? Did you just get hit by lightning? Bro, something is fishy. Some about this don't smell right. Okay, anyways. Let me just... I need to do my outro. Okay. Hey, what is that? Hey, hey, what, this is a single player world. Hey, what was that? Um, no, no, uh-uh. Okay, so, with all that, my name has been Warden. Next episode, we're turning on that fucking tower already. I'm not delaying any longer. Um, and, until then, my, my name has been Warden, and I am signing off for tonight. Have a good evening, everybody.